Hello, hello, and welcome to Candy's Crafts Corner. How are you all doing today? Uh, Today is Sunday, November 16th, and we're halfway to November already. I can't believe it. I hope I'm live because I keep hearing a beeping sound. It says that I am. So I hope you can find me. I'm sorry about the delay because, the streaming service changed the some settings or something, and I had to kind of restart again, log in, see what I needed to do. Anyway, I was not uh, on top of it because I didn't know they were changing that. But anyway, so let me show you the cards that we're gonna make today. Uh, if you're here, say hi. And I'm sorry again, I'm late, so they may have put off some people, but I hope that you'll find me. And if not, you can always watch the replay. All right, so we have that, and we have this one that has this fun vertical easel panfold. And then we have this one. That's the only one that's not a panfold. But anyway, all right. So let's get started. So today, as I said, we were going to be playing with the beautiful, elegant pine. What is it called again? Elegant. Let's see. I'm going to put you a little closer. There. It's called Elegant Pine Snowflakes because the snowflakes made of pine. Pine branches. Very pretty. So the set is this. That's the stamp set. And then we also have the dies, and look how many there are. And then we have the beautiful paper. I think I showed you the paper the other day, but just gonna give a quick browse. It's gorgeous. And it has all the greens pretty much. It has old olive, shaded spruce, garden green, and pretty peacock, which is kind of a blue green anyway, and cherry cobbler as well. And I think it says secret sea, but I think they forgot to say this is some sort of like either pecan pine or early espresso, the pine cones, and it's not listed. But anyway, so that's what we have to play with. And we'll start with, say, the easy one. Okay, this one. And for this one, I didn't use that much of the suite, only the stamp set. And for the other things, you'll see I used alternative materials that you can use what you have, or you can use the same. But anyway, this is just inspiration as always. Let me remove that. Make some room. So the important thing for this one is that I have used for these little berries the pearlized enamel effects basic red, real red thing. It's not cherry cobbler. This only comes in real red, but that's okay. And this, because it's just the paint, it's, you don't have to use as many embellishments. So that's one way to save on embellishments. But if you don't have the paint, you can actually just put some red embellishments in there for the same effect. Okay, so let me find my materials. I had it all ready here. So the other thing that this card uses is okay, where is it? I'll find it. Here it is. The other thing that this card uses is the new embossing folder, traditional Breathe 3D embossing folder. So this, hi Deborah, good evening. This embossing folder is like big. I thought it would be a smaller wreath that I could put in a completely in a card, but it's like way too big for a card. So I'm using it partial. I've already done it, and because the enamel paint takes so long to dry, I've pre-done that for the sake of the tutorial, because I don't want to mess things up. Every time I try to do it live, I end up messing things. So this is the embossed part, and this is 4 by 5 1/4 garden green, and I embossed it, and it looks very nice, don't you think? It has like 2 levels of depth, the embossing folder, so it looks pretty nice. So this is gonna be an easy card. We're just gonna mount it in gold. You can use whichever metallic paper you have. I use the saddle shimmer one just because I had it handy. I think it's retired, but you can use any other gold. You can use the stress gold, you can use metallic gold and everything. So anything, I mean, just to give it a little bit of, because it's gonna match with the gold trim. So just to give it a little bit more elegant touch. So I'm gonna, what did I use it to attach it? Because this is quite porous, so I think I'm gonna use turn tape. So turn tape it is. Easy. You want to be careful, as I always explain, with the glitter papers and the metallic papers. They're not as porous as our regular cardstock, so sometimes when you use liquid glue, it can move a little bit and get it messy. So just to save us the trouble, you can use this. You can use stamp and seal. I like my Terran tape because I think it's, and the stamp and seal, sometimes when you put it in an embossed background over an embossed surface, it may rip off your cardstock. So that's why I think that the best choice is Terran tape. I think I put a little bit on top of, there we go. I cut the corner there over the other strip. And as I said, this is the only card that is not going to be a funfold. The others will be funfolds. So we start with the easy one. Not that the others are complicated, but you know what I mean. Hi, Teresa. How are you? Thank you. I'm glad you like the card. The frame, by the way, I did, let me explain. The frame is for an 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and then I remove the centerpiece because it's a waste of specialty paper, right? Just, we're not gonna see it. Not only makes it lighter for shipping, but it saves you some money, paper. All right, so we're gonna put this directly on a regular card base in basic white. This is not the thick, because this has several layers, so I think it will be thick enough, and I don't want them, many of these Christmas cards I send overseas, I don't want them to be so heavy and for international shipping. I want them to use the forever stamp, international stamp, and that's it. I'm glad you liked you received the prize, Deborah. Let's see how many people we get and if I do another raffle today. All right, so that's our basic thing. And now we're just gonna put this in the circle and in the circle of the wreath here in the hole and the center. And we're gonna first stamp it. I was gonna start the threading of the trim because it takes a little long, but then it wouldn't stamp properly, so I like the sentiments that come in this set a lot. They're on the smaller side, but they're nice. It's the most magical time of the year, warmest winter wishes, and celebrate the season. So I'm using the warmest winter wishes, and I'm gonna do it in cherry cobbler. Yeah, I love nesting dies. Teresa, myself. Teresa says that's what's great about the nesting dies. Yes. Because then no matter the size of your message, you can find one that fits, right? And this circle comes from Spotlight on Nature dies. I love the nesting dies, and I buy the sets that have nesting dies. So I'm with you, Teresa. And you'll see in another card, we're going to use another bunch of nesting guides. All right, so then I wanted to put some greenery in here because otherwise it's kind of sad right there in the middle. So I'm using garden green, sorry. Garden green. And I should be using my, and this is 3 little branches. I'm putting one's facing up and one's facing down. And I should be using my foam mat because these are photopolymer. Hi, Susan. How are you? It's fine that you watch on YouTube or on Facebook. It goes to both, but it's true that I have more problems with my setup looking at the comments on YouTube. So if you want to chat with me, I prefer Facebook because that's what I have in my computer. I tried to do the other one and I don't know why it didn't work. But anyway, I don't think this is going to be long enough. So we're going to use another piece. This is the elegant, simply elegant trim, but you can use whichever gold trim. You could use this one also. That's current. And this is the black and white gold. And black and white and gold baker's twine. All right. So I'm trying not to, how you call it? Well, not to cut it ahead of time because then I always end up shortchanged on my threading and my bow, and I don't have enough or something. So I don't want to do each one because it would take forever. So I'm doing one of each, and I'm doing see how they come in threes, which matches these three. That was my idea, to match the 3 branches here, the same motif. So I'm doing the third little branch or hole or however you want to call it, and you just keep pulling it with carefully so you don't break the cardstock in between, and then we can adjust if we need to. I'm trying to go fast, but whatever, and as I said, I wanted to do it early, but then it would be kind of like wiggly woggly for stamping, and it may not get a good stamped image. All right. So we're going for the third, and one gets it underneath and the other one gets it over, like I'm doing, like just threading it so it ends up having like a little stretch of gold on the top. Okay, and we keep going. I'll try to do it as fast as I can. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trim this little edge that's fraying already to make my life easy. Or then I can find it better. All right, I'm halfway there. It gives a little antique, vintage feel to this, right? Ah, it's fraying again. Oh, there we go. Almost done. Come on. I'm talking to the thread myself, to the trim, to collaborate. What did I do here? Did I do it wrong? Uh-oh. Oh, I see. There we go. I don't know how I moved it. That I ended up knotting it with the other one. All right. 3 more. Come on. 1. 2. And what you want is that you end up with the both ends coming towards you to the front so you can tie them on a knot. On a bow, sorry. All right, let's trim the fraying end. There we go. All right, so now that we have it all done, now we do a nice little bow. Did I do that again? Look at that. I did that again. Okay. I knotted it. I mean, if I had to do it on purpose, I wouldn't be able to. I think it's this way. No, it was the other way. Oh, well. Honestly, this is too much. See, maybe it was easier just to cut the whole piece, being enough. But I don't like to waste. Okay, now I see you. There. Okay, now we have it, and I'm gonna give myself enough room to make a nice bow. Look, I had so much extra, but it's okay. I can use it for something else. All right, let me take this, get rid of this. I don't know where the little, oh, here. This set came with silver and gold, so very useful for the holidays. All right, so we're just gonna tie a nice little bow. Hopefully I won't have the problems I had before. And this is the easy card, but it took so long just because of the silly little threading. Okay. There we go. Untying it. I don't want too big ears, so to speak. So I think that's good enough, and I'm gonna trim the tails. Maybe I trimmed it too much. Maybe I didn't. All right, so now we have it finally, and all we have to do is put it here on dimensionals. I'm just gonna do 4 dimensionals. I could do 3. There was honestly, but you know, better safe than sorry. All right. Then we're gonna put it in the center, making sure that our message is center and not crooked. And that's it. Oh, no, that's not it. For the inside of this one, I went kind of crazy and I did this with branches, but I kind of like it. So if you don't want to write a lot inside of your card, you could do something like that, a design like that, or you can do just something simpler. And this time we're going to do simpler. And we're going to get the branch and we're going to clean it because I used it before with Pretty Peacock. And we're going to use it in Garden Green, which is the color of our card. I'm just going to do 2 like that. 1 there and 1 there. All right. So that's card number 1. Moving along to card number 2. I'm going to put this over there for the recap later. So card number 2, we're going to do my favorite funfold lately. So much favorite that I showed you this. We did it in the team meeting last week, and I love this funfold because it's easy, doesn't use a lot of cardstock. You use just exactly the same amount, and you can vary it so much. So I did 2 of them, and as you see, I liked it so much that you'll see I've used it for other things as well with other paper. So these are 2 of the examples that I made with the elegant pine cone. What is it? Elegant pine snowflakes. Sorry. Thank you. I'm glad you like them. And we're gonna do a 3rd one that's not gonna be exactly like that, okay? But I love this funfold. It's so easy. And then it gives you this floating square or whatever element. You can put a circle to here, or you could even do, oh, I forgot to do the brackets. You could also do like somebody in our team did the arches or whatever you want, you know, like any kind of element that's big enough to hide the hinges that it has and behind. Okay, so let's start. This time I'm gonna do it in Pretty Peacock. I'm making room because I have all these pieces that you don't see much here from the pine cones, and it's like all my die cuts ready, and they're getting in the way. So as I said, it's a regular card base, 8.5 by 5.5, score at 4 1/4. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna score the front at 2 1/8 as well. 2 1/8, okay? Because it will be the center, right? Of 4 1/4. All right. Since I have this out and I forgot to cut myself the hinges, sorry. If I can find my scrap paper now. Yes. So I have a piece of scrap here. I need 2 squares. Hopefully I have enough. It's gonna be a little small. is 2 pieces of 2 squares of 2 by 2, and we're gonna score it at 1, right in the middle. And I have to do another one. And I don't know if I have 50 peacocks here. This is not enough, I don't think. No. No. Well, we'll do one in shade spruce. Nobody will know because you don't see it. And shade spruce I have here. So I could do both with shade spruce actually to make it tighter. Okay. I'm just getting my scraps because I like to use scraps. Because once you use scraps, use it up. I'm gonna go with 1 on 1. I don't mind. And this we're gonna score again at 1. Two different hinges, but doesn't matter. All right, so let's now score these proper. Well, fold these properly, and then we're gonna get one of the hinges, and we're gonna put it in the center. I like to be generous with the glue for the hinges because you want to make sure that they're properly attached, like something like that would do. All right, like that. And then we're gonna do the same to the other one. And we're gonna put them right there to the fold. So then here's where you adhere your centerpiece, your square, or whatever it is. And remember, you have to do this before you put the panels here. The panels are 1 7/8 by 5 1/4, and you need 2, 1 for each side. Makes sense, right? So we're gonna put 1 there. Oh, glued my finger. There. This paper doesn't have directionality, so you can put it as you want. If it has directionality, of course, put it the right side up. I just wanted to do it with another paper than the ones that I used, just to show the variety that you can get with this really easy funfold. Then you need a square of 3 and 3 by 3, and then another one that I have here of 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and that would give you the centerpiece. And I did it in another green. I did it in shaded spruce because I wanted to pick the different greens of the paper. Okay, but before I adhere it here, I'm gonna decorate it. And just remember what I did before. I did the big snowflake with a pine, and then this one has a smaller one, but it has also the printed one and the stamped one underneath. So I think it looks nice, but I think I wanted to do something with the pine cones. So I don't know, I'm gonna improvise because I wanted something different. So let's use the pine cone. Let's see how it looks. That also is part of the set of the stamps. And what I like to do with pine cones, I like to uh, die cut them into different colors, the base and the top. So it has that kind of color. You can do the other way around. You can do this, which also looks very nice. Or you can do the same color. This didn't get all the little things, sorry. We? Oh, it's the other way. Okay. It was upside down because it wasn't matching my profile. All right, so these 3 different kind of pints that you can get. This is pecan pie and early espresso, the 2 browns that we have there. You can also get the same, a little bit of variation by sponging it a little bit. But anyway, I think I'm going to go with this one. This, I think, is my favorite. So I'm going to go with that. And the pint, oh, I know what I was going to do. Yes. The set also comes with these things that is for when you stamp one of the snowflakes, that you can actually cut it from it. See, but I used it here as a base. I'm gonna use it as a base, and I'm gonna put this one on top and one on the bottom. These branches, this is how they come, and then you just build it up. Yeah, so it's a little bit of a die cutting for this set, but the effect is so pretty. I like it. So I'm gonna put this in all olive on top, and then I'm gonna put one on the bottom in, let's see what I have here, shade of spruce, and then we need a garden green one because I did it in 3 colors. Oh no, I used, this one is wrong. They didn't cut properly. I'm gonna save it for, maybe I can use the other part. There we go. For something else, for underneath a label or something. All right, so this goes here, and then see, we need something else here for the middle, and we have another one in garden green. So we're using 3 different greens, all of them featured in the paper, the DSP. Okay, the garden green I had already used. I meant old olive. Where's my old olive? Don't tell me I don't have an old olive one. I had it. Okay. No, that's also garden green. Oh. Well, we're gonna have to do another garden green. Or maybe it's pretty peacock. Huh? I will do pretty peacock. It will actually be okay. I want 3 different ones. That was the point. All right, so see, this is a little different than the other one that I had done. So you can build different snowflakes with this set. And just try and see what works, what you like. And anyway, and maybe I can do this in the middle. Nah, maybe it doesn't go. You know what? I don't know. Not convinced with that. But maybe we can do something like that. All because I wanted variation. I didn't want to do the same old for the 3 of them, for all of the cards. What do you think? Pine cone with branches or a snowflake? I can do the snowflake. No, I'm gonna do the snowflake. Still have time if you want the pine cone before I start putting my snowflakes down. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the little list of the pine cone there, snowflakes there, and I'm gonna do a little bit of a background in garden green. Let me grab my mat just because. It's like I'm doing my own DSP. It's fun because stamping is fun, as we know. Do a corner there. Maybe I have room for one more here. All right. All right, so that's my background. And then I'm gonna put this in the center, which covers two of the ones that I've already done, but it's okay. And I'm gonna put it with a glue dot. Ooh, where did it go? There, rescued. All right. Thank you, Teresa. I like both ideas. I'll use the pine cones for something else. And I put an embellishment here, but I was using the stars, but they're a little small for this, I think. So I wanted something that's a little bigger, or maybe I put more than one. But the star kind of goes well. So I'm going to go with the star. Or maybe I'll just do... Oh, I can do the star in white. There, yes. That looks nice. And then I'll do little red rhinestones around them. But before that, let me put my message so I don't waste the space for my rhinestone. All right, so for this, I have this, and we're gonna do the same message again because it fits in this pretty square. This comes from Texture Notes. That's another layering dies, another set of layering dies, and I love them. They're all rectangles, and this is the tiniest one, which is perfect for messages. Others are bigger, are better for backgrounds. I'm gonna do it in cherry cobbler. I love cherry cobbler for Christmas. I do love it so much. You like the snowflakes, Susan? I'm so glad. And then these, I'm gonna put some sort of square underneath, like a little frame like that. But of course, this is too small, so I'm gonna use another piece. Maybe this one. It will be garden green. We're using all the greens today, all the greens. All right, so I don't mess it up. What I like to do is just I glue it before I cut it. So if it moves or anything, I know I'm fine. And I'm not even measuring it. I'm eyeing it. And if it's wrong, well, I'll do it again. I think that's good for the length. And now we have to trim the top a little bit more. There, I think this will be good. There we go. All All right, see? Perfect. And now we're gonna mount that here. But I'll do it when it's all together because I wanna make sure that it doesn't go outside the perimeter of my car. So now that I've decorated, I can glue it. And then don't think that I don't remember that we're gonna put some red rhinestones around. Yeah, it looks nice. I like it. See what I was talking about? That if I put it here and then it goes like this, nope, it needs to go farther in. And this is how much farther in, so I needed to calculate that. I'll just put some glue here and some other glue here, and that should do it. Oops. Maybe I'll glue this first. Remember, when you're doing your square, you put the glue on the hinges directly. And then I like to use the liquid glue so you can wiggle it in place. And now this. I wanted to show a little bit of the white here. There we go. And now we need to do the inside. But first, let me put some rhinestones there. Oh, don't know if I have any of the single ones. Yes, perfect. I have 3. That's all I need. 1, 2, and 3. 3, there. The front is looking very nice. At least I like it. And now we'll do the inside. The inside is even easier. So for the inside, you need a strip of paper that's a 1.25 inches, and we're gonna attach it with dimensionals. And I chose one that goes with, I didn't want to use this because it's too close. So I'm using the back, which is Pretty Peacock, which goes with this. So it will go like this. This is what you'll see. And instead of gluing it, we're attaching with dimensionals because that raised background is what is gonna make the easel stick stand out. So my recommendation, in this case, you have to use, I like to be frugal with my dimensionals, but in this case, you have to use 8 because you don't want it sinking in the middle, because that's where the easel is going to attach or stop. It's going to be the stop for the easel. So you want to make sure that it stops, that it finds an edge there. All right. There. Would like it a little bit further in. All right, so this is how it goes, see? Isn't that easy? With the floating square in the middle, and of course it will stand up. Anyway, so now we need some place to write our message, and that place is a white cardstock cut at 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. I'm just gonna put it down. like. And we're gonna align it with our strip there. Further down. And that's it. Voila! Opens flat, or closes flat, and opens to be raised like this. All right. Okay, so that's card number 2. Like magic, yes, Teresa. Teresa is right, like magic. And then here you just go crazy. You know, you can do so many variations. I could have used the pine cones, whichever. And I've done this card in with other suites, and it works with pretty much any paper you have. All paper, use it. It's easy. Very nice. All right. So moving on to card number 3, we're gonna do this one. This one is a very easy, also easy. Seafold, but I put a ribbon around it, and I'm using 2 sizes of the arches. Another layering set of dies. Isn't it nice? I like it, at least. And I here I just wanted to do the stamps as they are, like the stamps of the snowflakes. So let's go with that. And of course I hit embossed there's a floating feather here. I hit emboss a message. All right, so where are the materials for these that I had already set up? Okay, these. So we have a card base. I'm using garden green again. I hit embossed these. And I see there's a part here that I'm gonna need that it fell on the floor. Oh, but I have another one here, so not gonna worry about it. Okay, so you have 2 ways to do the fold in the middle. You can eye it like this and align it with your square, your corners there, and press down, or you can do it with that trimmer. But since I'm here already, I'm gonna do it this way. Thank you, Teresa. I'm so happy you like it. Hi, Elise. The floating element is great. And as I said, we did it in the team meeting with a square always, but somebody used the arches, one of the smaller ones, and it worked as well. You don't want an element that's too big, that's floating, because then it covers too much. But you could do it with just anything. Circles, you can do like one of these octagon, or like one of our labels, or even with a punch. The important thing is that you have a little frame around it, because that makes it more special. Sorry, I had to take a drink. All right, so once we have that, and I'm not gonna worry too much about it sticking up, which they always do a little bit. But in this case, I'm gonna use a ribbon, so it's gonna be corralled down. So let's start with the stamping. All right, so I'm gonna stamp this gorgeous thing first. What color did I use? Maybe I'll do it in different colors. Yeah, like that goes like that. I'm gonna do shaded spruce for the first one. And then, of course, it's always better to ink it this way when it's a big stamp, that it goes out of the perimeter of the ink pad. I hope it has enough ink. I re-inked this the other day, but these pads are a little old. I'm gonna start replacing some of them. I already have a cherry cobbler one ready to be replaced, but I think shaded spruce one was one of my first ones that I bought, but that's 5 years ago. So I want like the 12 o'clock and the 6 o'clock. I'm pressing down. Oh, I didn't. Can I do it? Do I dare do this? All right. Well, it worked. I was a little lucky. Anyway. Okay, then you have then another smaller. I think I'm gonna do this in all olive. And all the snowflakes. Sorry, I don't finish my. It is, isn't it nice? Um, this when I saw this set, I'm like, oh, this is nice. Very much to my taste. So I'm gonna do old olive for this one. And then I'm gonna put it. Oh, this didn't get enough ink there. You see how you have the little 3 branches there? I'm gonna connect that with something, which is gonna be these long ones now. I think, I don't know. No, okay. I'd rather have more ink than less ink. So how does it go? The important thing is that the center is center. Voila! See how pretty? And if you want, we can do another one right here in the center with a tiny little snowflake. And they nice, Teresa. I love them too. And this one I'm gonna do in the other green, the garden green. Where's my little one? And I'm gonna go to the center. The good thing is that they're photopolymer, so you can see where the center is. There you go. Beautiful. A little different than the other one that I did because it used other colors. Sorry. Sorry. I hope I don't get a sneeze attack. Oh. And I apologize. Excuse me. See, and I could have done what I did with this one, where the longer of the uh, of the pine cones were on these branches, on the other branch. It doesn't really matter. It always looks nice. It looks like kaleidoscopic a little bit, don't you think? It's a favorite set. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for blessing me. I can go for a while. I was hoping this would never happen on a live, but allergies. Where was I? Anyway, yes, a little bit kaleidoscopic. So that was it. I will stop eventually, believe me. Thank you. I'm blessed enough. You really thank you so much. I'm gonna stamp this the inside with a branch. Oh. You see how I said there's a feather floating around here, and I don't know what it is. Something maybe from my. Thank you. Thank you for blessing me. Maybe from my coat. But it's also the dust, and I dusted yesterday. And then you'll relate to this. Yes, I'm allergic to pine, Teresa. That's just very funny. The funny thing is, I dusted yesterday, and you'll relate to this. When I finished everything and I had organized my flakes for how do you call it, for the gilded flakes? gold flakes, it, they fell on the floor and they went all over. So I had to vacuum again, and I still have to vacuum again because those gold flakes went everywhere. And then they get stuck to things, and then you see them again. All right, so for the inside of my car, I didn't do the embossing. Oh well, I did the embossing for this one, but because I don't have it now, I could do it. I mean, it's right there. Or I can use paper. So this is gonna be my base. So I'm gonna go with this one for my base. I knew I was forgetting something. That embossing. Oh well. I'm gonna think about it. Maybe I'll just go and get it done. And then we're gonna put this here in the middle, and it's gonna be covered by the other one because the other one is larger. The other one is the third largest arch, and this is two down from that. I know, right, Teresa? I know that she's like, oh my God, after I did all the heavy lifting and everything. Those gold flakes. All right, so now let's think about what to do in the front. I think I want to emboss it. And I like the tone on tone. So I'm going to cut myself a strip of garden green that is 5 1/4 by 1 7/8. I'm gonna double check, but I think that's what I did. Yes. So let's cut this. I'll do the 5 1/4 first, so I don't have to work with such a long strip. And then 1 7/8. And I'm gonna emboss this, and I'll be right back. It's right here on my table, so it's not gonna take me. So it takes me longer to get out of my seat here than to get to the table and emboss that. It's tight quarters here. All right. I use the old Snowflake embossing folder that is retired because it's all over the snowflakes. But if I don't have it here, simply I'm gonna use the Snowflake Sky, which is nice too. And that's still current. I'm just gonna situate it in a way where I get the most of the snowflakes because that's the important part. All right. So we have that here. See, it's a different. I like this one better for this because it matches this background, but in this background it doesn't really matter, so it has the little dot, so it's actually gonna look good. All right, so okay, now we can put this back in its place. All right, so that's taken care of. Well, actually I didn't do very good job. I'm gonna center it better. Thank you, liquid glue, for being so flexible and letting me adjust. And this goes here, but this goes in dimensional, so I can put my ribbon underneath. Okay, so I'm gonna put dimensionals only on this side, like around there. Yeah, put another one there. I think that's enough. Yeah, important that in the middle you don't put a dimensional, because that's where you want to have your ribbon. So I didn't think of it until now. I did think of it when I did my original card, but that was a few days ago and I forgot. All right, so now all we need is to put our little ribbon, and that's, oh, and the embellishment. Let's put the embellishment since I have it right here. I'm using again the faceted snowflakes because we're working with snowflakes, right? And this time I'm gonna use the one in, it looks like it's Pretty Peacock. They're right there in the center. They say snowflakes, but honestly they could be stars too. I don't think they're only snowflakes. All right, another ribbon. I'm using the gold striped mesh band, mesh ribbon, and I'm using quite a lot because I want to make sure that I can tie a bow that's nice enough, well, without overdoing it. Oh, now I lost it. Okay, I think that's good enough. I can always trim later. I don't want to waste ribbon, but if I have to, I will. All right, so I'm just gonna thread it through here. See, looking for where my dimensionals are, and just thread it over there. It's coming on this side already, and that's it. And then I just tie it around. I'm not even gonna, I mean, I could put a little piece of tear and tape here, but honestly, I don't think it's necessary. Because then when it opens that, you know, the tear and tape is not gonna, like, you may lose this in the middle, and you know, you don't want your recipient to open the card and not be able to put it back again. And so we're just gonna tie a little bow, nice little bow here. And I like the fact that the ribbon is right behind, not exactly the center of the card, but it's right behind. Visually, it's how it works. Right behind the center of the snowflake. There. Too big, but that's enough. So now I'm just gonna trim generously because, you know, not everybody knows how to make bows with a tight ribbon. like that. All right, so that's card number 3. Okay, and just like a little different with 2 different embossing folders and 2 different colors for and 2 different backgrounds here. All right, so let me tie the bow in this one too. And now we go for the last card. The last card is gonna be, look, I looked at this and I said, you know, snowflakes and snowflakes and snowflakes, but honestly, I saw that this die, where I cut this, if you cut it in red, you can make a ponciera out of it. So it doesn't have to be only snowflakes. So I made this bookbind fold. Very simple with the Snowflake Sky embossing folder. It opens like this because it's a bookbind needs to be horizontal and open horizontal, landscape, you know what I mean? And I have the pieces here, and this uses the branching out nesting dies, another set of nesting dies. I love those. I was on the fence about branching dies, but honestly, I love the set and I love the dies very much. All right, so for this one, the first thing you do, you get like your piece of 11 by 4 1/4, and you score it at 5 1/2. But then you need to score the front at 1/3 here, like sorry, 1/3, 3/4 of an inch. You could do an inch if you wanted to. I did 3/4. You see, I line my fold with the 3/4 lines, and I score it. Okay, that will take care of our bookbind fold. Then you need a piece that is 4 3/4 by 4 1/4, because I wanted to do it tone on tone again, because I do like tone on tone. It's nice. And I did the embossing folder of the falling snow. What is it called? The Snowflake Sky embossing folder, I think. It's a 3D folder. I always put a little extra when it's embossed, just for better adherence. So we're gonna put this here, leaving a little bit of an edge around it. Guess you could, if you don't like the white on white, you could use another card base and just, have the little frame around it, which will be nice too. But anyway, so then I have a strip that's 5/8 or 3/8. What is this? I'm sorry, I'm so bad with the inches. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5/8. I said it correctly the first time. And I'm gonna put it in what's gonna be the spine of my bookbind thing. This Japanese bookbinding actually is what it does. This kind of fold. And that's there. Okay. And then I already cut this, but I like the bevel effect that I gave it here. And to do that, actually, let's stamp it first. I really like This is from an old set, May Magic and Wonder bloom this holiday. I like this sentiment a lot. You can use whatever sentiment. I wanted something that was bigger as a sentiment, and the ones in the set and the delicate pines, as I said, they're a little small for this label. It will look a little lost. So I went with this one from the old Poinciera thing. Oh, and I already have it up here, so I don't know what I'm opening because it's already mounted on the block. I'm gonna do this. And you're gonna center it. All right. And since I have my ink open, I'm gonna grab two of my die cuts there that I'm gonna overlay like this, but I'm gonna do some sponging around them with a sponge dauber, just to give them a little bit more of dimension. Thank you, Deborah. I'm glad you like it. You see the difference between the sponge and not sponge? It adds a little bit, right? So for this card, what I'm using of the Elegant Pine Snowflakes suite is all the dies. The greenery will come from that. The poinsettia comes from that. May surprise some people. All you have to do is just like cut it in another color. It would work well with the light poinsettias and the pink poinsettias too. So, and then instead of using the die for the center of the holly, I did it on gold for the center of my poinsettias. So that will go like this. Let's put it together and we'll have it ready. Like this. And then like this. And then I'm gonna curl some of them up, which you could have done before adhering. And then some of them down and some of them up. You know, like real plants. And then just something like that. And then just gonna put a little bit of glue there. For my center. Cute, right? Cute and effective. Once you put something green behind it, it just comes to life, you see. I don't see the other branch that I had ready, but that's okay. Oh, here, no. Oh, well. I wanted one in shaded spruce, but I guess I didn't cut it. I guess I cut it only in, yeah. I may have cut only in garden green, but that's okay. We'll use that. Anyway, going back to the bevel effect. I think I've shown you this many times. This is branching out, by the way, and these are the dies. Beautiful. So my label comes from this one, the white one, and the gold one comes from the following die. So you put it back where you had it. how you cut it. And for this, it's better to have like a little bit of a foam background. And then you get the stylo end of your, take your pick tool. I'm using the large one. It has a smaller one here. And then just trace it against the edge of the die, holding your label in place. And that's it. You see? And it races and it looks much more elegant, in my opinion. So, get rid of this and this. And now we grab our label. We put dimensionals here because we put the beveling effect there. Thank you for the hearts. I love the hearts. And then we're gonna put 4 for this one. 1 in each corner. And then we center this. I use the distressed gold paper. You can use any metallic that you have, or non-metallic. You can use another color if you don't have metallic or you don't like metallic. I happen to like gold for Christmas. So, and then we're gonna put it right there. Because I raised one, the other one is gonna get just glued with regular glue. Ah, Teresa, yes, I love that trick too. It makes a difference, right? The bevel effect. And you can use it with pretty much any die, especially for labels. I like that a lot. But even if they have like a more scalloped effect or something, it still looks nice. And anyway, then now we just decorate. I'm gonna put this in a dimensional here. I'm gonna put it a little bit less to the corner that I did. This one is a little too much. But I thought, well, we'll see. Oh, and I wanted to show you, and now I glued it already. But if you put this behind that, also in green, it it kind of gives the impression of the leaves as well, but it's too regular in my taste. So I like to do something else. So I'm gonna put this here. So I'm gonna actually put some glue directly. I just wanted to test how far down I have to put it. My top leaf is not gonna have any glue because on purpose. There. And my bottom leaf either. So then I can actually put it on top of things like that. Right? And because I used the garden green, I don't want to use the garden green that I had here. And I said, I had one that was not properly cut, and I said I could use it. But I don't see it now, of course. I have these. I can use these. Yes, this is nice. This is from the other side. This is what makes the big snowflake that I didn't make live, and then you can build it with a small one if you want. See? But you can also cut it to use it as just branches, which is what I'm gonna do right now. Just gonna grab right there. So I can just stuck it underneath and do something like that. So I'm gonna put just the glue on the very bottom there. Because I don't mind this excess because it's gonna go underneath. So we're not gonna see it. Wait, I think it shows here. It's not supposed to be here. It's supposed to be underneath it all. There you go. There. All right. So now for here, we have a ribbon. And instead of using the same cherry cobbler ribbon, I wanted now to try something different, which is this shimmery iridescent trim. Because I think it's nice and festive and all, right? So let's see how it works. I cut a big chunk. I'll tell you if you need to know. I'm cutting this 13, like 18 inches more or less. I don't know if I'm gonna need more or less. Probably less, probably. But anyway, so we're gonna put it right here. And what I'm gonna do for this one, in my other one, because it's a flat ribbon, I just put glue in it. But in this one, that it has a little bit of a, I don't know, rope texture, I'm gonna put a piece of tear and tape first, and then we put glue as well. So you have to do this before you glue your card. This part of your card gets glued, so it has the, it's a little thick, but we'll make it work. And then we're gonna go like this. Oh, I didn't do very. This is too. Sorry, this is too thick for a rope, which I knew for the for bow, which I knew, but I'm gonna use just a regular. Just gonna make a regular knot, and that's it. I'm just gonna put a glue dot here to help me tie it. When you don't have the extra finger holding it, just use a glue dot. And I'm gonna do it this way. Yes, if I do the bow, it's gonna be a very bulky bow, see? And I don't like it. So, not it is. No. And now that it's like this, now we can put a lot of glue here. That, especially on the ribbon, the trim. Let's see. I'm gonna press down. Important that it has it on the other side of the trim too, the closer to the card. So when you open it, you know, it doesn't open like this. So let's give it another minute. Maybe I'll put a little bit more glue here. Well, it has plenty. Yeah, maybe this was not the trim to be using, but that's okay. I'm gonna make it work because I'm stubborn. You know, it's like, has to work, it has to work. All right. All right, so yeah, now it's gluing. Maybe if I do it like this, it will be even better. Liquid glue, it has to, ooh, Right. Have its time to attach. All right, and then I think I did something in the inside, right? I put a branch or something. Yes. So let's do that. And because this branch was garden shady spruce, I used shady spruce, but now I'm gonna use garden green because our main leaf is garden green. All right. I don't want to open it a lot until it glues properly, but you can see the thing. I think I'm gonna put a little bit more glue here. All right. So that's it. That's it for me. From me. 4 cards that we made with the beautiful, elegant pine snowflakes suite, which has beautiful stuff in it. We didn't get to use the pine cones, but believe me, you'll see me using them for something or other. So we did this one with the Punciera. That's the one that would look less like it comes from this set, right? And then we did the arch seafold. And then we did the floating square with the vertical easel. And when we did the embossed wreath, which uses this one. I always think that I think that this could use like some rhinestone. I don't know if these are too big. Yes, definitely too big. I have these old ones. They're almost the size of the other one. These are the red and green adhesive back pearls. Let's see. Just one. I'll do one and one. I usually don't do 2. I always do 3, but this is kind of like for the purpose. I think it elevates it a little bit more. Thank you, Teresa. I'm so glad you like the cards. And of course, I'm sharing the designs. It's just fun. You know, if you don't share it, nobody sees it. And just, it's not the same for me. Anyway, so, and yeah, I'll show you also I'll put the other variations of my favorite new funfold, the vertical easel one. All right, like I don't have room. But anyway, variation. And like just get inspired. Use the papers. The papers are gorgeous. I love the dark paper here. Actually, for this one, it says Secret Sea, but Secret Sea is kind of a blue. So I went with the retired Evening Evergreen. Remember that one? And it works very well because it has so many greens. But anyway, I digress. Anyway, I hope you like them. More next week, probably with branching out, but I won't promise anything, but probably branching out. Okay? Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for putting up with my sneeze attack and my technical issues to begin with. And thank you for always showing your support. Thank you so much. Bye. See you next week.